Ladies and gentlemen, draft season is over. It's time to pay the piper.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar Alpha Play Chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally at this point. You're right.
I believe it's been 2 weeks since or even more than that, since our Crack Rock draft. I think 2 weeks ago we were all en route, or a week ago we were all en route to Vegas. I don't know. It feels like we've lived a lifetime since we last did a show.
It does.
It feels like we've lived a lifetime just since Vegas.
I know. I mean, I was trying to catch up on all of our co-manager Discord threads, negotiating bids, all of that. I'm already exhausted, and I barely did any of it.
Well, yeah, I did a lot today, but I think I'm good. I think I'm done for the year. I was like, all right, Pat, that was nice showing, but I think that was it.
You want to know how I know you're not done for the year? Because in multiple threads, I saw you use the phrase, "We got to keep some powder on the side." So
yeah, that's true. That's true. I did say that a bunch of times. So I am planning for future bids, but I was hoping you guys would make those.
Yeah, let's we got a little while until we reveal the bids. I do feel like we should do a little bit of a Vegas recap.
Oh yeah.
Just an absolute incredible time. We got to see so many ship chasers drafted, a bunch of teams, had a very fun party on Friday night. Gretch, what were your Vegas takeaways?
Yeah, first timer here. It was I wouldn't say I had really had expectations because I had gone before and didn't really have time to think about it all through August leading up to it. It was blew away whatever they would have been. Getting to just hang out with a bunch of people. It was so much fun to meet all the ship chasers and all the other people that were out there just talk football with. We're all, very like-minded. That's what we do here every week, but very fun to just sit there and talk about the nuances of fantasy football with people that are really into this like we are. So I had a blast with that. I will say, I don't think I was as prepared. I was kind of in rare form. I got pretty hammered a couple times. I wasn't super prepared for it was the August stretch where I was writing every single day and not doing a lot for a month. And then, I didn't really have much on my plate. I don't do a lot of Leone was updating projections in our room and stuff. I don't need to do that. I didn't update my rankings anymore after Thursday night because some of my subscribers are doing main events, but most of them, their leagues have started. So from Thursday to Saturday is this little downtime every year before the season turns around. But I was in Vegas for it, and I knew what was coming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And anyway, stealing signals Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on the back end was all tough, but it was this perfect little window of we're in Vegas, so might as well just go for it a little bit.
That is the first timers club too. I've now learned the rhythms. I normally take Thursday night off after the game. I go up to the room, I write the newsletter. I live to see another day. And then I got absolutely blitzkrieged on Friday night. I do not remember a lot after the party.
Yeah, we had a good time at at Blondie's. There was some Angels Envy that our buddy John brought. It was good. We definitely enjoyed ourselves on Friday.
Yeah. So appreciate all of you. I remember last year because we were still kind of on the tail end of a lot of COVID shit. And I know a bunch of people had said, hey, next year I'm making it out. And it really did seem like everyone delivered on that because we had such a fun crew. And I guess I'll start pumping it now. But Ship Chasing 2023 Vegas just feels a part of the show and what we like to do. So definitely start planning ahead now. We can throw an even bigger party next year. I just remember the conversation we had with Farrell too. There in the FFPC ballroom.
Farrell is such incredible.
A trip. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So many characters down there. That was, it really, I can't say it enough. Really was such a blast to get to meet all the ship chasers and hang with you guys in person and everything. It was super.
Yeah, I never met you, Ben.
Yeah, we had never met in person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because we've done so much stuff together. You think it's one of those things where yeah, we guess we've never met.
Yeah. Talk to each other, work together for 6 years.
Sometimes it happens though, like Gretchen and I, where we met once and then he forgot that we met.
We've been over
Yeah.
this.
Oh man.
That was years ago too. Come on.
We had met in Nashville, then I was out in Seattle with some friends and I hit up Gretch. We were trying to organize meeting up and we were having a hard time with the logistics. And then Gretch goes, "Wait, I met you in Nashville?" He's like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about it." Did we hang with Vegas Dave? Is that like if you go to Canada and you know one other person that lives in Canada, you're like, did you bump into that person or something? Vegas Dave, just he has his name in the name.
It's like when you find out someone went to college like 3 years ahead of you and you're still like, do you know this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone sees the pictures of Vegas. It looks big. The reality is very, very small. And when you go there, you meet everyone inside Vegas. We ran into Vegas Day.
So how are you guys feeling after week one? Like you said, it feels like we've lived a lifetime. We've all done all kinds of content. Gretch crushing, stealing signals, getting those out. How did it feel, Ben, to be back in the rhythm of riding that behemoth?
Oh, there was no rhythm. I mean, getting back from Vegas on Saturday, and I still drafted Saturday night, turned around, woke up, and was like, I mean, this is my first day at home after, a bender in Vegas. Like, had a hard time watching the games, woke up Monday, tried to write. It was, somebody in the chat said I wrote a novel, and I mean, that it was, I don't know, it was painful. I was not in mid-season form. Week 2 will be better. I'm excited to be a little more locked in for week 2.
Yeah. I actually was wondering this too. Gretch, are you and Bime4 doing that show?
No, I decided, because I started up the betting thing with Dalton Cates, which is, going really well, that I was going to not try to do seasonal betting and DFS all at the same time, because it's kind of a grind with signals and all that, to try to also get enough research in on betting and DFS and just the other few days of the week. Signals takes up like half of my week, right? So not doing any DFS specific stuff this year.
I'm licking my chops because I'm in the stealing lines Discord. I've been getting your guys' updates, and Massachusetts is so close to legalized gambling. I think there's just a little bit more of red tape here. So very excited to tail you guys over there at Stealing Lines. Pat, how was week 1 for you? Are you already starting to write the walkthrough for this week?
Oh yeah, the walkthrough takes me the whole week to write. So I'm pretty far along. I feel good. I'm like through. I do like kind of the game sort of like flow part first, and then I do the quarterbacks, then I do the wide receivers and tight ends, and then I do the running backs last. And I'm through the quarterbacks, and I'm like halfway through the wide receivers and tight ends, which is like way ahead of where I would have been this time last year. Yeah. I'm pretty psyched.
You were doing the whole thing on Thursdays last year.
Yeah. Well, I rearranged my schedule, so I have my news stuff. I used to have a news shift on Wednesday morning. I moved it to Monday. And so that's it's kind of silly how much that has changed for me, but just like having, because what I can do is, and then I can write late night Tuesday. I can sleep in a little bit, then I can just pick up and write. It just helps me stay in the flow. We also moved our preview podcast from Wednesday to Thursday, so I have Wednesday afternoon as well. So yeah, feeling good, guys.
What for you, Gretch, was one of the biggest surprises, from week 1? Were there any kind of macro things that took you off guard, or big fundamental shifts you weren't expecting?
I always get this question with signals, and I'm always like, dude, I wrote about every single team. I can't name one thing. I know one of the stats that I said was most surprising to me was the Giants being super run heavy. I think that had more to do with the fact that they got sacked 4 times. Daniel Jones got sacked 4 times in the first half, fumbled. And Saquon was just so electric that they were like, we're just going to give the ball to Saquon every time. But they were negative 12.4 pass rate over expected. The only team even in the vicinity of Chicago and San Fran were the 2 lowest teams, which they played in a monsoon, right? So basically the Giants would have been the lowest team any other week. I expected them to be a positive pass rate over expected team. That was not ideal. For everyone who has Kadarius Toney, I mean, obviously not a great week 1, but I think you also have to look at it as Kenny Golladay was not getting open, drew 2 targets, ran a ton of routes. Sterling Shepard had the long touchdown, exciting, glad that he's back with the, after coming off the Achilles, but he only gets 4 targets. He ran a lot of routes. Richie James is their like most targeted receiver. Saquon Barkley, I think their most targeted player, if I'm not mistaken. They only threw 21 passes. Jones took 5 sacks overall. They had to scramble a little bit. Their passing game had nothing going, right? And I think pretty clearly that they're going to have to figure out a way to get Kadarius Toney involved because he looked very explosive on the 2 handoffs. There's obviously some, Brandon Ayuk 2021 stuff going on there, but I don't think Dable wants to be negative 12% pass rate over expected. I think he was sort of forced into it. But man, Saquon looked great.
I had a little bit of a different take on that because I noticed in the week 1 walkthrough, I was noting that Daniel Jones, when he was starting last year, they had a really high pass rate over expected on first down. I think it was like 12% or maybe even 14%. It was very high. And they had like a 4% pass rate over expected. So they were kind of smart. Like, you know what I mean? They were kind of running the offense the way we might want them to under Jason Garrett. Like in terms of like play design and stuff, I don't think it's going to be as good as it will be now, but they were kind of already doing sort of the sharp things. And in addition to them going super run heavy this week, they were super slow. I think they were 31st in situation neutral pace. So I feel like maybe Dayball's just like, you guys already tried all the stuff I was going to try and it didn't work. So I'm just hiding this guy. So I actually think that the Giants might be like a very different team than we thought they would be, because that pace is like another strong signal. I think that they're just not running the offense at all like the Bills.
And we didn't end up with a ton of Giants on our team, right? Just like 1 or 2 Barkley shares, 1 or 2 Kadarius Toney shares. Kind of looking back on our portfolio from draft season, Gretch, are there guys that you're super excited on or spooked on that we're heavy or overweight on?
I was a little spooked on Juju. I don't think we have a lot of him. We took maybe a little bit. I wasn't as excited about him, but I think he's a guy that might end up being someone we wish we had more of. I was for me personally, not being as on him. That's a team where we have him. I think we did take him a couple times, but I was kind of out on the arguments for him. I mean, the easy one is AJ Brown. We didn't get enough AJ Brown. There's a couple times when we were picking in the early. We didn't get a lot of like early picks, which sucks because we would have had Jefferson, Kupp, AJ Brown teams, right? We had a lot of later picks. We didn't take Brown in the early parts of the draft season.
We also got sniped on Brown in the 2. Out of the 202, we got sniped.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So so early on, he was a 3rd round pick. We got him in the late 3rd. The teams that we had the 105, we had Chase and then Pitts, and then we were hoping to get him in the 3rd, and we got like Higgins, I think, on 2. Do we have Chase, Pitts, Higgins, or we were settling on Brown because we already had Chase, and then Higgins fell, even though Higgins had a higher ADP, and we were annoyed. And then like you said, as it got later, when we had the 2nd pick, we wanted Brown. By then, he's going middle of the 2nd. Late in draft season, we didn't really get the opportunities to even take him.
Well, we got 2 shares in Vegas, right?
Okay, did we? Well, I mean,
we only got 1.
I would have preferred 50%, and obviously after week 1, I would have preferred 80%. So, it just feels like we're super light. I remember before Vegas, we're talking, we only had 1 share at that point.
Yeah, and it was a 311 share, and that was one. I was like, we need to get more AJ Brown. We got him in the high stakes in the NFC league.
That's right. We
have him on the stat chasing team.
We got him on the stat chasing team. Okay, so that's
right.
We got
so
2.
Maybe I forgot we got him in the NFC team for a moment. So we have
but I was ready to go in and get 4 more shares of AJ Brown. Like I was very much on that train. So
he's one that and really just the builds I think that are looking so good. The top 5 all look great. McCaffrey you can be a little bit concerned about. I'm not super concerned. Only 50 snaps offensively for Carolina. That's kind of a problem that they might suck, but he was good on a per snap basis. He was McCaffrey. His trap. Pat came up with the term for trap. The high value touch percentage basically was fine. He didn't have a ton of high value touches. He didn't have a ton of touches, but he had a pretty good snap share, good route share. Looked fine. Like his profile looked fine. Obviously Taylor and the 3 receivers all looked elite. And those teams that have any of those guys, we already knew the top 5 was going to be great. Look even better. I mean, if you were at the back and you got Saquon or you got Swift, you feel pretty good too. But those 5, and then you got Brown at the 2-3 turn, those teams are in really good shape, right? And we would have built that's how we would have built, but we didn't have a lot of We only got the one.
Well, and then you
Jefferson
get these fucking ship chasers in the draft with you, and they do crazy shit. They take
screwed
AJ
up.
Brown in the mid-second. What are you doing, guys?
Yeah,
You
and then
gotta
we got
take
Jefferson,
Aaron
Derrick
Jones.
Henry. What's our Jefferson teams? Jefferson, Derrick Henry.
And Alex, so in our draft with Alex, we had some ship chasing RotoViz bros directly to our left, and it was one of the most painful things ever because it was a weird room where guys were sliding, but they just had us blocked. And you're watching AJ Brown slide, and we were actually looking at 3 wide receivers. We were like, holy cow, DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, and AJ Brown are all still available, I believe, at 3-5. And they go 3-6, 3-7, 3-8. And just fucking ripped our hearts out, that string right there.
And then those dudes later were like, we're going to roll the clip here, and took Sky Moore.
Yeah. So that's how it goes. I saw someone asking about Curtis Samuel in Washington. I feel like the Commanders have to be one of the other big surprises from week 1.
Yeah. I think the Commanders and the Dolphins are probably the 2 teams where I'm like, maybe we were just wrong about like what this team wants to be.
I gotta take that. Basically, there's been too much attention on both of those. The Dolphins I wrote about, they were the highest pass rate over expected team, but they had the lowest expected pass rate at like 49%. Their actual pass rate was 61%. It's not that egregious. It's just they had a really low expected pass rate, and they were willing to throw all ahead. That's positive, but they're not going to be plus 12% most weeks.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to be like a minus 8% on the year.
Sure.
You know, like if they're at 0 for the year, that's, I think, a pretty big shift from what my prior was on that team.
That's very fair. I guess I was more, I don't know if it was on ship chasing as much or on bananas, but I thought they would, like, I wasn't as in on like Chase Edmonds necessarily because I thought they would use Tyreek in the short passing game and Waddle in short passing, kind of like the Debo role with Mike McDaniel coming over. I think we saw a lot of that. Tyreek, they motioned around a ton. If you go look at his route chart at the next gen stats, it was like all of his routes are starting horizontally because he was in motion, even his deep routes, which is
interesting.
I think really sharp. Get him moving and then up the. It's almost like an arena football thing. Like every route is on the move at the snap. But or what is it, Canadian football, where they could like motion straight towards the line?
I think that's Canadian, right?
I think it might be Canadian football. I have no idea. But then Washington, like Wentz had some really bad throws early. Like he had a wide open Dotson on the sideline, and he just threw him out of bounds. He chucked one over Logan Thomas's head when he was.
The thing about Wentz is that he's bad.
Yeah. So then he got hot late in a big come from behind script, hit on a couple long touchdowns. The pass rate over expected looks good, and everyone's like, "Hey, Washington's passing game is going to be good." Like, no, Wentz sucks. I'm not in. Like, that's where I'm at.
I'm not in, but I do wonder. Like, they were 14% pass rate over expected on 1st and 10. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't even think this was in like their range of outcomes. So it's pretty interesting that, and one of the things is that they got progressively more run heavy last year as they kind of like lost faith in Taylor Heineke. So. I think maybe we should have seen this coming to an extent that they might like want to be a very different team in terms of identity than they were last year.
Yeah. And just scrolling through, our teams, I think we're close to a little under 500 the first week. I'm thinking the stuff that really hurt us, obviously missing out on George Kittle, had a decent amount of him, took some bagels from Devonta Smith. Is there anything else across our portfolio you think that got us off to a slow start?
Pitts obviously had the rough week 1, wasn't great. Trey Lance had a rough week 1, and
Andrews didn't do much. I think we only have one share of him, but
yeah, we have plenty. We have some Pitts and Lance teams, and when you're really hoping for the elite QB, elite tight end, I think that's going to be fine. But it's tough in week 1 to get into such a points hole because they both didn't hit.
Yeah. Here's our team with Davis, which somehow gets a loss with Justin Jefferson in the lineup. But when you draft fucking dustball Derrick Henry in the second round, that's just kind of what you're asking for, I guess.
Can you imagine having AJ Brown on this team? We took we took the fucking big dog. Why didn't we take a grown ass man and AJ Brown?
He must have been gone.
No, he wasn't gone.
No, I don't think he was. Or was he? I can't remember.
No, Davis is telling us to scoop the value.
He fucking better have been.
Pete very equally was in on Derrick Henry. He was all about it.
Yeah. Where are you guys at on Lance? There's been lots of hand wringing about him. Obviously, the weather there.
AJ Brown went 201 in that draft.
Okay, thank God.
I remember we
Okay,
didn't even really discuss him.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have been a lot more devastated about the Derrick Henry pick if AJ Brown was there.
Yeah. What if it's the unique combo you need?
Yeah.
Are we panicking on Lance?
No,
I'm not panicking on Lance. I mean, he's bad. Like, he's definitely bad, but like it's kind of like, I think it hurts his upside seeing that, like, yeah, he probably is bad, but I mean, with Lance, it's like, dude, like, he's gonna run so much, he can be bad. Like, he can be, like, I don't want him to be quite as bad as Tebow, but like, I think he can be fine, even if he's just straight up bad. And then also, how bad, because he was in the rain. Like, it remains to be seen exactly how bad.
I actually thought he made some really good throws for the conditions, and I seem to be the only one who thinks that. But there was some crossers. There were
I saw a really good throw.
When?
This is a joke?
Yeah, he's smiling.
No. I hadn't gone back and watched the tape, but so there was people who were tweeting out some throws, and I was like, dude, there were some good throws.
Yeah,
I thought you were doing a joke like, I saw a good throw to the Bears.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was doing too. Yeah. But he had a couple good throws. He had a couple that were pretty awful. He had a couple where I thought the pocket's kind of collapsing and he gets the ball out and it's low, but like there was covered, there's defenders nearby and it just looked like an extended throwaway sort of. He's throwing it towards the guy's feet. Definitely some missed throws, but like when you're playing in the rain and you already expected this guy to be terrible, like I thought he looked kind of bad in the last preseason game on some short, like there was a short out to Kittle. He just like fired it outside of him and he was like 5 yards from him. I'm like, take a little off that, buddy. I didn't see a lot of that. I mean, I saw a few bad throws that I was kind of chalking up to the rain. I'm a huge apologist, but I thought some of the stuff that was when the field was decent on some of the like intermediate crossers was super like on time. There was one to Brandon Ayuk. He was wide open, but right on time, gave him the ability to catch and run. There was one to Ray McLeod. There was a few more defenders nearby, perfectly, layered in over the defenders and in front of the guys behind him with zip. Like, I think some QBs make that a bang bang play. I mean, he has velocity where you need it. He didn't throw everything perfect. He was short, down the field on Jawan Jennings, but there was plenty, I think, to be okay with how bad the conditions were.
Joshua says Lance is like Tebow with a worse arm, which is actual slander. I mean, Tebow had the worst arm. I mean,
I think he's like early Josh Allen.
He was in the full windup from the mound.
I think he's early Josh. Yeah, I think he's early career Josh Allen. He missed some short throws that he shouldn't have missed, but he has the velocity. He gets the ball down the field into some good windows. He runs aggressively, competitively. Like I'm a little worried he's gonna get himself hurt because he's trying to like run over every defender he can. He puts his nose out there. I was like frankly impressed. I guess maybe I had lower expectations.
Yeah. Let's stick with the Niners. Let's pivot this a little bit toward waivers. So another week 2 waiver run, another 49ers injury. Eli Mitchell going to be out 6 to 8 weeks at minimum. Jeff Wilson probably rostered in most leagues. How are we feeling about what else is going on in that backfield? Are there stabs we should be taking here?
Well, I guess so. I don't want to get like too. It's an uncertain backfield where traditionally it has been wildly shifting week to week, but there's guys you want to start. It's not one of these backfields that just evolves into muck. Like there's usually value in starting like the guy that week, even though it never seems to be the same guy for like more than 3 weeks in a row. So I don't want to like decide who it is. I basically think the right move is probably to just take stabs. If one of the guys is available in your league, you should probably grab him. That said, I feel like Mason not playing a snap last week seems bad. Like Mitchell, when did Mitchell get hurt? It was fairly early on, right?
Yeah, it was wait, you're talking about this game?
This in the game. He got hurt,
Yeah, early, yeah.
Early, yeah. So like then Mason doesn't see a single snap in that game and he's active. So it's like kind of hard. Now maybe he gets the week of practice and they're like, okay, now we're ready to trust him. But it doesn't seem like great. Like, I think Tyrion Davis-Price is probably a pretty good bet to be ahead of Mason as the number 2, just because he didn't see a snap. Like, why wouldn't they play him if they want to play him?
Yeah. And what do you, a lot of people talking about, and I mean, it makes sense, right? Debo get a little bit more rushing work, maybe a few more design runs for Lance, but there still is 15 targets or 15 carries like up for grabs now that have to get distributed even beyond those guys, I think.
Sorry, I'm texting. If you're
Sorry,
asking
I'm talking to
Pat.
myself. I'm used to it. Solo stream.
I'm doing some last minute waiver stuff. Pat made the point about Mason not playing. I don't think that's good. I also think we just don't know anything with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, maybe he wasn't a part of the game plan this week. They just felt comfortable with Jeff Wilson. I will say Debo got carries from the 4 and the 6 yard line. You got a little bit of good luck trying to stop Debo Samuel and close. He's our goal line back type of thing. And he scored on one of those. I think he's going to be, a big part of that element of it. Obviously, Lance ran a lot of design runs. We don't know how much of that was the weather. But I do think there's an element where it's possible they just didn't necessarily have Mason in the game plan, but they got to go back and reassess. And they just, I think what Pat said is very possible too. The TDP is ahead of Mason, frankly, because Mason didn't play. And the fact that TDP was inactive is a positive. I also think it's possible that Mason just wasn't a part of the game plan. They weren't intending. They had Debo, stuff lined up. They had Elijah Mitchell, and then they had Jeff Wilson. And now they don't have Elijah Mitchell, and they got to have either Mason or TDP ready this week, and they'll have a different, sort of game plan idea in mind going into this game. And that Mason might be the one who wins that, right? I mean, I guess I don't think we know. And so it's like you guys were saying, we don't ever know with Shanahan's backs. Even the Elijah Mitchell thing last year, it was obviously Mostert. Mostert goes down right away, but it was still really surprising to see how much Mitchell played. At that time, it was like, oh, it'll be Sermon, and I feel like there's a possibility Mason could just play a lot this week.
I think there is too. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that's going to happen to me, but I very much feel like I don't trust my feel with Shanahan because he's surprised us so many times.
And there's upside there because Mitchell's going to be out for a while. We talk about the churn, and I get questions now because I've written about it a lot through my Substack that are, who are the types of guys? Because I've talked about how you want to stack bets. You want, this is a perfect example. If you got a running back that didn't do what you wanted in week 1, you're ready to cut him. Everyone's going to be on, even if you're in a shallow league that's not a FFPC league, and Jeff Wilson's available. You don't have to take Wilson, or if you can't get him or whatever, take TDP, take Mason. This is the perfect backfield to be churning for week 2.
Yeah.
Just take some shots and see, and then cut them.
We're going to get information.
Yeah, we're guaranteed going to get new information, right?
Yeah, because I can't even think. I mean, I guess if you have I know that one roster that you and Sean did where you guys had 4 early running backs. I can't think of really many other rosters where you shouldn't be at least having some floor bids on TDP and Mason. There's just too much opportunity here. Even I know during our drafts, and I know you guys weren't high on TDP, I still just wanted to take a peek. Obviously, TDP was going to be buried if this didn't happen, which was in the range of outcomes, but you open yourself up to scenarios like this, and now we're going to get, I think, some pretty interesting information on Mason versus TDP. And I don't feel comfortable making a bet solidly in one direction or the other.
Yeah, I agree. I don't either. I do think it's very possible that it is Jeff Wilson and Debo, which would be
me too. Yeah. The answer might be no.
Right.
Which is also fine, but I think you want to keep it pretty cheap. And if Jeff Wilson's out there, go get him. Right, you go get Jeff Wilson
for sure.
But I think
I'm at least 30% on him probably.
Yeah, for sure. But I think keep it cheap on even TDP. I think go get a little, but I would still type of guy you might drop in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, we were going through all of the stuff. I mean, there isn't a real big prize on the waiver. I mean, we were bidding 800 on Eli Mitchell at this time last year. Are we even
losing?
Losing. Is there even anyone in the 3-digit range? I don't think so.
There's not a lot. I don't have a lot of 3. I have a lot of teams, and almost all of them going really low. What was Pat's line? Keep the powder in the keg or something.
keep
the powder on the side.
Powder dry. You keep the
powder dry. Keep the powder. Yeah, we're keeping the powder dry this week.
Yeah, I think. There's there's some guys who are interesting. You're kind of like, oh, what about this guy? What about this guy? I feel like when you're in that mode where you're kind of like throwing out, oh, there's another guy. Oh, this guy's kind of interesting, Cuff, and you're kind of throwing guys out. Just lower your bids, right? Because it's like it's kind of like, oh, there's a bunch of guys who are all kind of fine. To me, that's like a sign that really these are just churn guys. You're kind of just mining. So just keep it cheap. Throw them back if they're not anything, and they're probably not. It feels like that kind of week.
Frank, leave some beer in the keg.
Trust me, we didn't leave any beer in the
We didn't
keg
leave
from
shit
Vegas.
in the keg in Vegas.
We didn't. I went up to Pete. We're like, we're out of beer, and he's like, yeah, we've been drinking for a long time. It's like 3 a.m. I was like, oh yeah. I thought it was like 1.
Dude, that was. And then our party was right after the 10K, which had 2 drafts prior. Like it was Friday was the day that we did all these drafts built into the 10K, which was, not. We were taking that one pretty seriously, right? And then afterward, I was like, but actually by about round 10, you know what my favorite part of the draft was? Of the weekend maybe was we got to that 10K and we sat down. We had all our laptops out, had plenty of room. Like half the league was doing it remote, so we all sat down. On a lot of the other drafts, Pete and I were kind of hovering. This one, we all are sat down. Pete's got his laptop out, got a chat up. We're talking. And it's me and Leone and Pat, like, taking it very seriously. And Pete is just doing a stand-up comedy hour in Discord, like, just clowning other drafters and other picks. And it was just, I was laughing out loud in this, like, very quiet room that was, like, everyone else was very tense. And we were
literally giggling. We were in a corner.
Yeah.
And
giggling.
there were 4 of us, and we were giggling.
We were the new guys giggling in the corner.
I think it was because for all the other drafts, Ben and I were hovering, and you guys were on your laptop. It was my first draft that I got to sit down with my laptop, and I just went full shit poster for 2 hours.
I mean, you had a lot of good takes about the draft too, but I mean, just so many good, especially when we weren't on the clock. We're waiting for it to come back around, and we're kind of talking about what's coming up on the next pick. Pete's just throwing in so many funny one-liners. It was amazing.
Sam says, read this comment because
my brain is broken because I keep hearing we have a 10K tonight, and I was thinking, wait, you're gonna go run 6 miles. Exactly.
I think our brains are broken. That's healthy. You're like healthy. A 10K. Oh yeah.
One guy who would have been maybe in the $500 range this week was Jaylen Warren. If what's his face, Najee Harris was out. What are you guys feeling about Warren now playing all the snaps when Najee wasn't in?
Looks good. I mean, yeah, I would say before Najee went out, he was very inefficient. Pittsburgh offensive line looked terrible. All of the bad news.
Yeah, Najee tends to be inefficient. Do you think there's anything going on?
But it might just be their team and their line and everything too. So maybe there's not, a massive amount of upside there. He's gone in all my leagues, so I don't have any bets on him, but I would probably be a couple hundred. I don't think I would be 600.
We double checked that he's not available, right? In all the leagues.
Yeah, we drafted him pretty aggressively in one of ours.
I didn't go to all the ones that I'm not on through
your search. He's not available on anything.
Okay. Yeah, he got drafted in all of them. So.
Other names that are interesting this week. I'm seeing a couple. How about some of the wide receivers? I see a DPJ out targeted Amari Cooper. I'm seeing a Kyle Phillips. Any interesting names at wide receiver here?
Do you guys, what are your takes on this Kyle Phillips stuff?
I thought he looked good. He's a good rookie. So you have this wide range of outcomes. At the same time, he's a slot receiver in an offense that historically has not really done a lot with the slot receiver. Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Akine ran a bunch of routes. Both earned 2 targets. Did not look particularly good. Woods, obviously, the guy who had higher expectations there, but did not look good. Traylon Burks runs only 13 routes, gets 5 targets, is very effective. Pat, you noted his ADOT was super high. I think his routes are going to scale up pretty quick, and the Traylon Burks ceiling, even though I think people were like, oh, hey, Kyle Phillips played way more than Burks. Well, he won the slot role, and that's what he just did is probably his role, I
think he has a little room to grow because he was at I should pull it up. I think he could get up to 80%, right, in the slot. And I think he was at 60. So he's got a little bit of room to grow. But I agree with the general point that he has less upside for his role to really.
And then once Burks kind of comes on, I think it's a little harder for him to be like a 9-target guy. I think part of that was Woods and NWI basically. So I'm not super like high on him long term. He's a slot receiver again in an offense that uses multiple tight ends and stuff. But he's gonna have some good games.
Burks is fun. Like Burks only played 14% of his snaps in the slot. He had 11 of 14 routes on the outside. He had 1 in line, which is kind of interesting. But he's playing primarily on the outside. He had a 19 ADOT, so a true deep threat. He had a 38% target per route run. I mean, it's all great.
Sample.
Yeah, super small sample. But it's
great.
Right? What you want is they're playing him in the position where he actually has upside, out wide and deep. He's showing that he can earn targets. He had an 11 yards per target, which is like exactly what you would expect at his ADOT. So he didn't, he was good when targeted. So it's all good. He only had 37% route rate, so he needs to come up, just an unbelievable amount. But he's a rookie, so they're kind of, and we knew that. Like he had a bad offseason. We knew they were going to ease him in.
They did that with AJ Brown a few years ago. I think they'll be quicker to ease him in than they were with Brown. It took till like week 9 with Brown, and then Brown was wide receiver 6 from then on. Hopefully they learn their lesson that rookies can actually make an impact. Half these coaches think they can't do anything.
Given the ease in, I would definitely prefer not an ease in, but given the ease in, like this is everything else you want to see.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, there was how training camp would have indicated it was like he wasn't even going to see the field week 1 was how they made it seem. So this seems like gravy. Based
and
on
again, the point I was making with Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Akine not doing anything is that helped Kyle Phillips in week 1. I think it's also like the door's wide open for Treylon Burks. I mean, Woods needed to be the 9-target guy in this game to really keep Burks off the field. What do they have to lose at this point? I think they're going to scale him up pretty quick. They waited a long time with Brown a few years ago. I don't think that'll happen here.
The other thing with Woods that I think is important to note is that he had an 8 of 15, and that is not his game. He has had he's been an underneath target for 3 straight seasons. He's coming off a torn ACL. Like if their plan for Woods is for him to be the deep threat, it's going to go about as well as it did this week when he had 1 reception for 13 yards.
Yeah, he had 2 targets. So the ADOT stuff is,
Yeah, sure. It's a little small. But I'm saying, like, that's, get him what they should do and what I think they will eventually do is they'll take Nick Westbrook-Akine off. Robert Woods will kind of be a little bit more kind of underneath guy that actually suits him better. And Burks will be kind of the primary downfield guy is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And then we fucking print.
Yeah. The other thing I would note on, we were talking about Warren played all those snaps after Harris went out. Benny Snell was the active third running back, only played on special teams. Same deal in Cincinnati. Chris Evans, active third running back, only played on special teams. Pirine got all of the backup work. Same deal with the Bucs, although Keyshawn Vaughn was inactive, but Gio Bernard, active third running back, did not play any offensive snaps. Same deal with the Cardinals. This was like a theme of week 1 where we got some clarity. It was getting a little unclear on later in August. There was some talk of Jonathan Ward. Both Ward and Darrell Williams active, both play on special teams, both don't get a single snap in the offense, even with the blowout loss where Connor went out and Eno basically got all the run late. So I think Eno, Shad White, Warren, Pirine, if you have those guys, I think those are all very clear handcuffs at the moment. But we don't necessarily know how it'll play out, but they should all be valued pretty favorably. Good offenses. I mean, except for Pittsburgh, but the other 3 are all good offenses.
Can we do a little victory lap on Eno? I mean, it's exactly what we wanted. I mean, Jaylen Warren or Darrell Williams not touching the ball. Did he even see a snap?
I don't think he saw a snap.
That was literally the whole point I just made. All of the number 3 backs in all those offenses didn't see a snap.
It's incredible.
But that was the theme of everything I just said.
I know,
I'm trying to find our bids that I can reveal for people here. Yes, I am in trade negotiations with Tyler Algier. He wanted T. Higgins from me for Sterling Shepard and Amari Cooper, and I countered involving Tyler Algier in the trade itself. I was willing to part with T. Higgins for Tyreek Hill and Tyler Algier if he wants to give himself back to me in the trade. But he rejected that and sent me back another garbage offer. So I'm just done with Tyler, man. He's just awful.
You tried to get Tyler Algier from Tyler Algier?
Yes. Well, I thought it'd be a really good bit of I'll give you the guy you want in the trade, but you have to give me back yourself. And he said
he won't trade you himself.
He won't trade me himself. I mean, he's high on himself. Do with that what you will.
All right.
I mean, let's up those Tyler Algier bids.
I think we should. Yeah, make sure. I'm going to check he's not available anywhere. Is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Someone name a player in the chat, and I'll read you a bid. I'll read you a bid from one of our teams.
Let's talk Curtis Samuel real quick.
Yeah,
we have 4 minutes left. It's way too early for this.
Oh, I want to read them all.
Samuel's kind of like the prize, right? Like I know some people are kind of excited about him, but I guess I wasn't that excited about Samuel. I feel like, I think he had like a 1.48 out or something. Like, I don't know. It just feels gimmicky, and I'm generally with you, Ben, that I don't think Washington's going to be an offense that we're excited to have like ancillary pieces of.
Yeah, I mean, the Samuel stuff, like, again, they threw a ton of passes. They were very aggressive this week. I'm skeptical they'll be that way every week. You also have, we are collectively with the excitement on Samuel and Dotson saying that Terry McLaurin is dust. And I was down on Terry McLaurin. I ranked him like 3 tiers lower than where he was going. But I don't think he's like completely done. Like he's still probably going to be their number 1 receiver. The issue was that Dotson and Samuel might be more competition than he's had. But Dotson, very active. McLaurin's still going to be active. The total pass volume might come down. I guess I just don't see how Samuel is like that amazing. But I don't know.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I'll tell you one team where we're bidding on Curtis Samuel, one where we started Najee Harris and Austin Eckler. That's a team where you need Curtis Samuel.
Should have taken AJ Brown in that league.
Why did we take any running backs?
It is brutal, right? With the one running, there's 3. You wanted JT.
We broke drafts,
JT, Swift, or
capitulated and took running backs. And then it was the year where all of the receivers smashed, and we're just sitting here looking at our fucking Derrick Henry and Najee Harris.
Do you know what's
even though good.
Okay. I was just gonna say I was looking at our team that we drafted our very first slow main event draft from back in July. We got off to a 1-0 start. It's a super fun team. It was the Higgins, Chase, Pitts team. I'm looking at the team we have to play this week. This guy has Hurts, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, and Gabe Davis. I'm like, why do we have to play this guy right now? I mean, this is just really twisting the knife.
See, that's the stuff where you got Kupp and then you got AJ Brown at the 2-3. That team probably got Gabe Davis at the 4-5 because
remember he sniped us on it because we did our mini-sode about Gabe Davis and Rashad Bateman.
He took him at 504. We wanted him at 505. We were way in on Davis. We were pissed about that.
Leone's been very excited to tell us that Julio is going to save our 10K team. I've never seen someone more happy than Leone than when
we have Julio. Garrett Wilson, Traylon Burks, and Sky Moore, and they're all dead to him. The only guy that could save us is Julio Jones.
Now, at the risk of ruining this bit, do you guys remember who suggested Julio?
I think was it Leone? Leone was probably too scared.
But then I immediately put it on Leone. I was like,
I pissed off Leone by kind of canceling Chase Claypool or vetoing Chase Claypool. So I was like, look, I'm unironically in on Julio. Pete, you got to give him a bid. They're freaking out.
Juwan Johnson, $6. There's a bid.
That's guy from every single league. We're gonna lose him in every league. $6 in every league.
Ronald Jones, $4. Take a peek tomorrow night. Another Juwan Johnson $6 bid. Do with that what you will.
There's a few.
Stop reading. Why did you read the one guy no one was talking about?
Matt Gay.
Literally, no one's talking about
him.
him.
I was trying to get you off this guy through. There's gonna be a ton of $7 Juwan Johnson bids out there. All right, lock.
No bids for the Penta. No bids.
Pat, here's the thing. It was actually really great because there was only like 30 seconds and he read somebody that nobody had bids on, so they had to go create a new bid and try to look up Juwan Johnson, and they couldn't find that fucker's name.
I put in bids for the Penta. What happened?
Oh, I think it locked when I went and refreshed.
Okay.
I was clicking through leagues, and then I think they all got cleared at 10.
Amazing.
Yep. Get wrecked. Tiebreaker on those Rojo bids.
We also have, I think we're dropping Rojo in some leagues and picking him up in others. So it's a real Rorschach test week for where you stand on Rojo.
My favorite thing now is every time Davis comes into our group chat, he's like so scared about floating cutting Rojo. He's like, because he knows we're gonna clap back at him.
Yeah.
He goes,
I mean,
are we wanting to drop Rojo or Zamir White?
Hilliard was the other guy that
yeah,
that people were kind of excited about that I also didn't.
yeah.
So
All right, it's going to be about, I know we have a little bit of a lag until when these process. Buckeye Boomers, have you guys updated your screen share technology this year? I need high res screen shares here so we can reveal these bid groupings.
Where do you get them quick? I forgot.
It's mobile, I believe, is where these guys get them quickly for some reason. So because I remember last year, G and the Boomers all sending me screenshots on their phone.
Yeah.
I think there's like a progression, right, where you can go and see how much of your bid you have left, and then it takes a second to populate. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the Penta ones. I said I put in Juwan Johnson for $2. Hassan said, I don't hate it. He is the RB4. He is not. Hassan. He is a tight end for the New Orleans Saints.
I feel bad we
I
weren't
think
responding to Hassan
You
earlier.
were cutting Boston Scott. I think he was referring
Oh, okay. Okay.
I did the same thing. That's why I know that. I saw that message earlier, and I was like, Juwan Johnson's a tight end. I was like, oh, he beats Boston.
Oh, that's okay. That actually does make sense.
Who had the highest bid? I did when I was tabbing through. I did see we had a $132 TDP out there somewhere.
We had a $200 TDP bid.
A 132 TDP.
Did we?
Seems
Oh,
I think on Ship Chase Yacht Club we did. I believe so.
I know about 5 o'clock I went through and just lowered, and then I just lowered every bid we had.
There was a lot of chat going on with all of our leagues in Discord today, which is, it was fun, but I was also like busy, like, holy crap, there's a lot going on here. Clicked through a few of them and saw some bids, and I was just like, there were some people excited to spend some money. Like, this is not the week that I would have been spending hundreds of dollars.
We didn't for the most part. We did not spend money because I went through.
Yeah.
There were like 30. It's like 39 to like becomes 2, like 21 becomes 1.
Yeah,
Like that's. I was like literally just like no. Like we're just reining it all in. I really think it was that kind of week.
yeah. Smart. Keep the powder in the keg.
I think we got or did we on Ship Chase Yacht Club, did we have a bid run where we spent a decent amount on the first one? Because it says we're down to 676 fab dollars remaining.
Well, we didn't get TDP, Ryan says. I don't know who we spent this money on.
Yeah, I was like, where did this money go?
Probably on Pacheco.
Oh, Pacheco.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha. All right, that makes more sense.
Which
This team is going to be
doesn't
fun.
look bad. I was against that, and I'm glad we did. I'm glad you talked me into that because, look, all of his carries were in the fourth quarter, but he ran efficiently, and I think that's pretty big for the idea that, like, if he didn't run effectively early, maybe Rojo would have got a chance to not be the inactive at some point. I think because, we know Pacheco's playing special teams too. The fact that CEH played well, the fact that McKinnon and Pacheco all played well probably means Rojo's going to be inactive for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
You're basically taking a peek this week to see if somebody gets hurt. I think there's still upside there if somebody gets hurt, right? And he starts being active.
There's a ton of upside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right now you have, I think, a possibility on Thursday night here that Pacheco's actually working in more early, even though in week 1 it was all late. For me, that I do this signal and noise. Maybe that would have seemed like noise. Oh, yeah, he was their leading rusher, but it was all late. I don't think I necessarily called that noise. I mean, to me, it was like, oh, well, he ran effectively. They were probably looking to see that,
Yeah, he's a 7th-round rookie. Like, he's not going to have a huge role week 1. The fact that they did put him in garbage time and we're kind of like, let's see what this guy can do, I think is somewhat encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
People want updates on Crack Rock and the Crack Rock team. I can't give you updates on Crack Rock. He's an international man of mystery. We did lose a nail biter here in this one. This team has better days ahead, though. I can tell you that much.
How you guys feel about Darnell Mooney? I guess the rain, we don't know, but that didn't seem ideal.
I mean, I don't think you can really knock him for playing as a downfield threat. It was a fucking monsoon. Like, that was insane.
Yeah,
that was the rainiest game. I've watched a lot of football. I cannot think of a rainier game. The end of the fourth quarter. Did you guys see when the Niners got the ball back down 9 and like needed to throw? And they were waiting through like 3 inches of water.
Wasn't there a Jacksonville game like 3 or 4 years ago that was insanely rainy? I remember something. I remember a running back like having a good run in just the most gross rainy weather. I feel like it was Jacksonville, maybe Carolina.
During a hurricane?
Maybe.
All right. The bids are rolling in, folks. The screenshots are coming in. Shout out to Serum. Look at this really nice.
Tsunami Bowl 2011. I looked up Jacksonville Jaguars. This doesn't even look rainy.
TDP 283, the top bid in this league, the Ship Chase Yacht Club. Jordan Mason goes Mason. 231. Okay. We're not going to have a lot of Mason if this holds.
Whoa.
$13, Juwan Johnson, baby. Juwan Johnson, 80% route rate, guys. What are we doing? We're just letting him come to us for $13? Just sneak him through this week.
I'm so excited to cut him next week.
We're going to cut the shit out of him.
Young Hoku for 71. House of Orange.
Like I just figured out that there's a kicker whose name is Young Hoku, and he got excited.
That is incredible.
I am very excited about Juwan Johnson, but part of the reason I'm excited is because we can cut him, right? We get him for 13, you just throw him back. Like
it's Young Way.
Is it Young Way?
It's his way or the highway. Then we did get, let's see. Curtis Samuel goes for 251. We get Juwan Johnson for 23.
Oh, you bumped all those bids, Pat. You were like, screw these $6 bids.
Which bids? I didn't know. I brought these down.
Juwan Johnson.
I think this is
all like $6.
This one we went bigger.
I think we're the only people who bid on Juwan Johnson in any league.
This is, I believe, our most expensive bid on Juwan Johnson.
Okay, good.
This is our team G Unit, and we draft with Chris and Jonathan, and we did pick up, as G reminds me, Jordan Mason for $1 on Sunday morning. Snuck that one in ahead of time.
Beautiful.
Greg Dortch alert, $28. Anything else interesting here? Mariota, 91. Wentz, 101. Kyle Phillips, 110. All right.
Yeah, the Phillips and DPJ stuff is like, that's kind of what I assumed you'd have to spend to get those guys. Phillips, I think I get it a little more.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I can kind of get paying 110 for Phillips, not for DPJ.
Yeah. Our Slow Bros draft with Silas and Maddie and Willis. We got Juwan Johnson. So Ben's theory that we got Juwan Johnson on every team, he is now probably who we have the highest exposure to across any player.
Let's go. Hey, look, important thing about Juwan Johnson, 12.7% targets per out run last year, an offense with no one to compete with. Here he's got actual target earners around him.
Here's what you need to know about Juwan Johnson that isn't bearish. He ran a 4.58 40. He had a sub-7.3 cone. He had 27% dominated rating as a converted wide receiver. And yeah, he didn't have great targets per out run, but he was like the 4th tight end. He had like 4 games above 40% route rate.
Oh my God, he went for $277 in that league.
Money 27 knows what's up. You go out and get
wow.
Him. Let's go, Money 27.
That was the biggest Pat moment ever. Like, dude, you got a cheap Juwan Johnson everywhere.
I just saved us $200.
I can't
$250.
Amazing.
I love it.
Dude, almost every tight end in the NFL is not very good.
Yeah.
So you pick up the guys who run a bunch of routes.
Jordan Mason, $68 there. I can't believe they didn't go 69, but they still got him. Impressive.
Daniel Jones, 31. Cade York. We're bidding $25 for Cade York.
Oh, he made like a 58-yard field goal, though.
All right.
We didn't do that, right? Okay.
With the game.
I was a little freaked out by our $7 Cincinnati bid. Like, that should be $1.
What are you talking? GG Money 27 knows something we don't? No. He
No.
knows what we do know.
He knows what
which
we
is
know.
Get Jawan Johnson on your teams.
Yeah.
This dude doesn't realize that we have a lot of exposure and a lot lower prices, baby.
Hey, also, hang on. Let me go back to this. Buckeye Boomers, I don't know what you guys did with your technology. It's evolving much, much better this year. Very legible.
I can read it. It's weird.
Yeah.
I actually prefer the old way.
I kind of enjoyed trying to figure
like
out
fun,
who the blurs were. You know,
it was like a tradition that I couldn't ever know what our bids were. Buckeye Boomers.
Here's our slow bros.
Could have argued about whether that was Jawan Johnson who went for 277 or not. We wouldn't have really known. That would have been a lot more fun, I think.
Dude,
Jawan Johnson, $6.
I love this P Ryan bid. Like when I was going through them real quick, I was almost going to advocate that we raise the P Ryan bid, but $2 that's nice for a little sneak on there.
Oh yeah, that's great. I didn't see he was available there. That's awesome. I know those guys wanted Samuel. Bummer, he went for 257 in that league. We talked about being really high, but we did not get that high.
What's going on with Cade York? Was Denny pumping Cade York this week or something?
I know.
I think because he hit that long field goal, dude.
Yeah, and a terrible offense, but
what are we doing out here?
They're like, I gotta get some Cade York.
You got Jordan Mason for 109. You got Phillips down at 50 in that one.
That's a pretty good price.
Sterling Shepard for $4 in that one. You went for like 120 in one of the other ones.
Your boy
I think I like Shepard best of those receivers.
I wonder if Shepard's a guy we slept on.
I moved him to the top of some really low bids in a couple of mine, but I mean Samuel I would take over him, but over the group of DPJ, Carter, Phillips, I think I would just take Shepard.
He only had 2 targets.
I had 4, I think. 2 catches.
PFF had him at 2.
I think everyone was just frothy to get bids in this week. Everyone just wanted to blast off, even though there's nothing to blast off on.
I think you're going to be happy that you got powder still in the keg when it comes time to blow that keg.
What I recommend if you're in this situation last week, because you do want to have a keg to blow. When it's time to blow a keg, you got to have that keg ready.
Right.
I think you get excited about a guy who's definitely not going to pay off, but is cheap, and then that reins you in. You're like, I'm going to get Jawan Johnson in every league. I'm going to get him for $5, and that keeps your other bids reined in. So I do recommend it.
I mean, this is what you do. You keep some powder in the keg. You invite Jawan Johnson over, and you just chill. You chill, all right?
What do you do? You're not using the keg? That's kind of like a boring hang.
Well, then you invite Samaje P. Ryan over too, and then you got a party.
Now we got a party.
I'm watching highlights from this rain game in Jacksonville. Great recall, by the way. It was definitely wet. I don't think it was as wet as Chicago.
Who was the running back there?
MJD.
MJD.
Maurice Jones-Drew has this long run up the middle.
Yes.
It's just what you said. I clicked right to it. Cam Newton must have been his rookie year, 2011, I think. He's playing QB for the Panthers in Jacksonville.
See, that probably sticks in my head because I think that was the first year where I really started taking fantasy seriously again after not paying that much attention in college.
It's interesting. At the end of the game, the field's in like great condition. It must have stopped raining, but like in the end of the first half, it was a mess. Late second quarter.
Dude, that was the moment that I felt when I was like, we are fully back in it, because there's that feeling that happens before lock, specifically with DFS, where you have something set. And I was running out of Lance lineup, and then you see the weather conditions, and then you're like, I'm changing. And then there were reports that it wasn't even that bad. Then there was one that was like, oh no, they got it all cleaned up from the start of the game. And then you're like, should I be back in on Lance? I was like, God damn it. My mind being in a pretzel like 14 minutes before lock. This is what we play the game for.
I didn't put that much. I basically kind of played what I wanted to play. I heard all week you weren't supposed to play Hurts, and I was like, I'm just playing Hurts and AJ Brown because that's what I want to do.
Wow, what an alpha play by you.
But it was one of those things where it's like you needed the nuts, right? There was enough value to get to everything. So I don't know. I kept it real small. I played 2 lineups.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very hard week to win unless you just like you needed to chalk it up and then be like, but I'll play Antonio Gibson and Steelers D, and then you win the Millie Maker, basically.
Right.
Let's see here. I'm checking in. Are we starting Jawan? I mean, probably in some leagues if Kittle bones us again, which it seems like he is.
Yeah, there were a couple of leagues where we were legit. I think G Unit was one of them. That was a crank purple team where we like legit may need to consider starting Juwan.
Yeah.
Someone asked about how many routes he ran.
Oh, this guy said Mason's
32
hurt.
routes.
Hold up in practice. That sucks.
Jordan Mason?
TDP's live.
Holy shit.
No, Brad, do you want Pat to get dragged away by the FBI? I mean,
yeah, we can't see that. Let me just tell you, can I tell him it's not as good as it's not a very good team actually. It's a kind of a bummer team because it's got Will Fuller, it's got Rojo, and it's I think it's my only Justin Ross share that happens to be on my highest scoring team. So it's not.
What if he's the guy you need in week 17?
So your whole bench was zeros and your starting lineup was perfect.
The lineup's just like everyone you wanted. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't read too much into this first week stuff. I saw Settleman had a lineup up there. It seems like incredibly noisy from what I can tell.
It's a little noisy. Yeah, this lineup's I mean, unless Fuller signs, then I'm live. But until then.
Yeah, what is going on? Where in the world is
the guy you need, Pat? What if Rojo's the guy you need?
Dude, I need Fuller to sign. Fuller signing would make my best ball portfolio up. I got him under 20%, but it took a lot of drafts to get him under 20%.
Oh my god. Yeah, are we tomorrow will be another interesting data point for the Chiefs backfield. I am excited to see that. Do you think Rojo's inactive again?
Yeah, I think Rojo's inactive.
Almost certainly. I would be really shocked if not.
If he's not, whoa.
Their offense was fantastic. They all ran well independently. They all played their roles well. McKinnon played his role well. How would that? That's got to be it.
Josh asking the NFFC bids. We were extremely light in those. I mean, we tried to swap out like David Bell. I think we put in a little bit on Kyle Phillips, a couple defensive stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, we didn't even do the defense because Leone was in on Dallas.
Did we bid on
against Cincinnati?
Oh, never mind.
So we left our D. It looks like we didn't even lose David Bell unless that hasn't gone through yet.
In which case, I just shared our bids.
They might not bid until they might be more like midnight. I don't think they've processed yet.
Yeah, do you want the exact? Lucky for you, I don't have access to that account.
Yeah,
which is probably for the best.
It is a 10K league that the bids don't process for a couple hours.
Oh no, it says. It says you currently have no bids. I think they're processed.
Okay, they promised. They processed. Yeah,
they promised. They told us it would happen.
They promised
to process them.
Mike is wondering, Pat, is Jawan your rebound love now that Rojo will be inactive? I think so.
Oh, I got the results here.
Yeah, Jawan.
What are they, Gretch?
We got DeAndre Carter for David Bell for $1, which was like our third option. We had a $38 bid on Kyle Phillips. He went for $43. I think we had $1 on Dortch, and he went for $24. DuVernay went for $128. Mason went for $94. Wentz and Goff went for $89 and $55. Not a lot of bids here at all. Everyone went really light.
Yeah.
Only 4 bids over $50. One of them was Goff for $55. Only one. The highest bid was that $128 on DuVernay. That was the only $100 bid. So everyone took it pretty.
DuVernay stuff feels pretty noisy to me. I'm not buying it.
I like that we took it pretty chill in all of our leagues, and then these guys that are big dogs also took it chill in this league.
Yeah. Stay chill.
Stay chill with waivers when you need to keep the powder in the keg. Got to keep the powder in the keg.
Got to keep it in the keg. What if it's out of the keg? Then you won't have it for later.
Right.
Keg chasing. Hilliard went for 151 in a league. Yeah, that's pretty penny. That's pretty penny.
He ran like 6 snaps.
He ran 6 routes. He had 18% of snaps.
So like 12 snaps.
He had 12 snaps. Dude, you know your fucking percentage.
I know my conversions.
Yeah. 12 snaps.
That's about 12 snaps.
So we would have had 12 snaps then? Yeah.
Plus or minus 1.
He had exactly 12 snaps.
I didn't even write him up as noise and signal a noise, and then I saw a lot of people like in on him. I'm like, I probably should have mentioned that. I just thought that was obvious. I guess I wrote OJ Howard as noise. I thought we were at the point where we knew these random 2-touchdown games with the guys that are only playing like less than 20% of the snaps don't matter. But
what were your guys' takeaways on these two backs we have on our team with Sean, Breece Hall, and ETN? How did you guys feel about their usage week 1?
Well, James Robinson looks pretty good. Yeah. So that's not ideal for ETN. But ETN was also what he's missed in the end zone. I didn't see that target.
He was open. Wheel
route. Wide open, wheel route, yeah.
And then he dropped the TV. Completely dropped. Holy shit that he dropped that ball. So that was definitely frustrating.
I mean, this was just a kick in the nuts question, I guess, because both these guys didn't get great usage. But Hall, I'm pretty encouraged about. Flacco, obviously they're not going to throw 59 times again, but he threw 19 passes to the running backs. He's probably going to throw like 10 or 12 most weeks that he's a quarterback. Hall ran enough routes. They ran the same amount of routes, Hall and Carter.
I think that's kind of really weird. Bullish. Isn't that really bullish?
Yeah, I thought so too, because I thought it was going to be more a Hall on early downs, Carter on passing downs. Carter played more, but they ran the same amount of routes, which means if you look at it from like a percentage of snaps type situation, Hall was like the passing down back, right? A higher percentage of his routes snaps were routes. He catches 6 balls, gets 10 targets. Flacco's he's going to get like five targets most weeks, and Flacco's in if he's running the same amount of routes as Carter. I think they both will. They'll be about. And then it was also really exciting to see no Ty Johnson snaps, no Tevin Coleman snaps. It was a 2-man backfield entirely. So there was elements of this that were fine for Hall.
16% target share in his debut. I mean, that's pretty awesome when you have a passing down back there as well. And that's not – I thought he was going to be like early down. Carter's going to be, getting all the receiving work. I think this was pretty exciting for Breece Hall.
Man, seeing these Godwin shares, just he looked so good before he got hurt. Even after the catch, I was like, man, he looks fully back. Such a bummer.
Yeah, but he might not miss that much time, right?
I know, but it's just like you start stacking those things and those hamstrings linger and he was just such a he's still probably properly valued, for missing a few games where he was going. It's just we were pulling a fast one on the field where we got him before that hamstring.
I'm annoyed by the Evans suck out as well, because that was I think he was just mispriced all offseason. But now
I love that Frank says I've cornered the market on Greg the Torch. I love that this is a week where there wasn't a lot of reason to go big. But like Pat was like, I'm going to get Juwan Johnson in every league. Frank's like, I want to get Greg Dortch in every league. It was a week to be like, this is a guy I really like, and I want to just get him in every single league.
I want to pay, I'm not going to pay more than $25 in any league, and I'm going to try to average like 9.
I kind of love that. Like, might as well like find a guy that you're, kind of believing in, and get him on every roster. And if you're right, you're right. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Sam says, got to say, it's great to hear y'all talking about actual usage and what it means. Football, man. It does. Football's back. I don't know. I like drafting.
Should we talk about some 2021 stats? The last 5 weeks of 2021. I think we covered that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So give us some new data. Right around, I feel like earlier than ever this year, we needed more data. Probably by about the end of June, we were ready for some.
Oh yeah, we beat the dead horse.
Well, and there were so many new offenses that I don't even know if 1 week was enough. I need a second week and a third week, man. I need more data.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
speaking
excited.
of
We got
data,
a game tomorrow. Yeah,
we do have a game tomorrow. That one should be good. 54.5 point over under. But I did want to plug. So dropping tomorrow, you guys might have seen it on the Twitter feed. Stat Chasing is back. We have 2 new co-hosts this year. We're very psyched. You guys probably recognize both of them. Sam Sherman drafted a team with us, very active in the Ship Chasing Discord. And then, of course, Drico, last year's FFPC Best Ball champ, doing great stuff over at RotoViz. And both of them are going to be carrying the baton that Pat started 2 years ago. Sam Hoppin took care of last year. And we got a sneak peek at the charts and all of that good stuff. They recorded that in the can. We'll get that released tomorrow. But super excited to have those guys doing Stat Chasing this year.
I'm super excited to check it out. Sam had his charts that he tweeted out check those out. He tweeted them out in a thread. He's at Sherman_FFB. And I've retweeted them. The accounts retweeted them. So yeah, all those charts there are awesome. And then I know it's going to be an awesome show. So excited to listen to it every week.
Yep, in that one. So that'll be out tomorrow. I think going forward, we've been talking with them. I think they were going to try to get that out earlier in the week, but lots of chaos and craziness we'll get on a normal routine going forward. Anything else hot on your guys' minds here? Are we drained and we need to live to see another waiver wire show?
I think this new light is giving me a headache, so I'm ready to go take some Tylenol, honestly.
Ben gets a ring light. You know what I'm dealing with over here, Ben? This is what it looks like without the lights.
I mean, I don't know how you
sick.
do it.
It looks great and awesome. Is that your point?
No, because I know what Ben's saying. The light just blasting on you for an hour it's tough being in showbiz, guys.
I ordered a crab curry that got here about 15 minutes into the show because I kind of screwed up my dinner timeline tonight. So I'm definitely excited to eat that crab noodle curry.
Okay. Well, Pat has food getting cold. We on future shows we can do some of the battle royales. We did on Club Top Shot last night. We did one of the Hail Marys, which is the same format as battle royale, but they now have them for 12 teams. So you're getting 72 players drafted. Adds
That's
a
way more
really interesting wrinkle to it. Yeah.
Is those are the 1 week ones?
Yeah. So just for
but
week
they're
2,
doing full season best balls too. I kind of want to draft a few of those too. We should do a few of those.
When do the resurrection ones start? They start after week 4.
They already started. They have
But I
resurrection.
mean, what's week 1 for that format?
Oh, when does it start? Good question. I believe it's week 5. Yeah, after week 4 then. Yeah.
Oh, week 6?
Oh, it's the same contest for the next 3 weeks? I thought it was just this week.
It's weeks, 6 through 14. So yeah, through the first 5 weeks.
Interesting.
So we could draft one of these weeks too here. Would be fun to do.
But probably closer to week 6 is like the obvious EV thing to do, right?
It goes back to the age old question of what values can you get out of.
I think in this case you want to draft close. Having the information seems like a massive edge.
Yeah.
And I will also say one of the things we were talking with Sam and Drico about with stat chasing is they are going to try to be viewing things through some of that lens. And I know this first one that they recorded, they were talking about looking at some of the resurrection ADPs and stuff too. So, and Drico specifically is in the weeds writing for RotoViz about the battle royale strategy. So I think they're going to be able to have some really cool insights to some of these best ball games that are up right now. And we also, I don't know if it's my news to share, but when we were talking to Alex at FFPC, he was talking about a neat little game format they're going to be putting out this year too. So I don't know if that's fully announced yet, but keep an eye out for that. Going to be swimming in action this season.
Nice.
All right, guys.
It's nice. This is like a nice time of year where I have like still the excitement and the energy for like whatever you're going to throw at me.
Yeah, exactly.
10 weeks from now, maybe not.
I'm ready to just draft AJ Brown 101. Let's get it over with.
Let's go, baby.
There you go. You there's no such thing as not drafting AJ Brown regrets if you just take him 101.
Yeah.
And you're good. You're good. All right, guys, we are going to live to see another day. Pat is going to go eat his dinner. Ben is going to go rest his eyes. I am going to go look at all of our Jawan Johnson shares and roster bait. We'll see you guys next week.
Take it a while.